Welcome in everybody to Mystic Rick's Crypto Picks. I am your host, Mystic Rick, and thanks for tuning in tonight. Before we get started, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. It helps out the YouTube algorithm so that we can stay relevant across um, views. So let's dive in and see what's going on in the market. Currently, right now, Bitcoin just fell $100, but coming in at $40,088. It is up 25% over the 7-day period. It's been on a massive tear. Ethereum sitting in at $2,300, up 16% over the 7-day period. And we have Binance coming in at $314, finally getting away from that flirtatious $300 mark, up 7.54% on the 7-day period. And Cardano hanging strong and tough, up 9.9% at $1.28. XRP having a run up of its own, up 23%, and that is looking very juicy. So if you happen to catch along on that XRP, congratulations to you. And let's um let's look here. We got market cap currently sitting in at 1.5 trillion, 24-hour volume of $86.9 billion, and BTC dominance coming in at 48.4%. Ethereum falling down to 17.3% with a rise GWE of 22. Still a lot lower than what we saw back in the April, May, June timeframe, but um, I mean, fees are it's still arguably a lot higher than what you pay on other blockchain exchanges such as the Solana network or the BSC. Joey Chan, what's going on? Crypto Junkie, what's going on? How you guys doing? Let's take a look at the on-chain metrics here, and we're looking solely at Bitcoin right now. And no, I don't want to use that link. All right, so transactions on the Bitcoin network by monthly standard. Right now, July coming in at the lowest it has been for Bitcoin transactions since June of 2018. Interesting. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean anything for whales, right? That is accounting for mostly your retail investors. Okay, understand that most of this action is not whale action. Okay, it is retail investment. My mic has been pretty soft here. Let me see if I can turn it up. Is that better for you guys? Let me know if that works out better. So transactions on the Bitwork or Bitcoin network from the daily perspective, this is the lowest we've seen on daily Bitcoin transactions since right before going into 2019. Very interesting. These are a lot of interesting metrics here. Um, just have to see where that is going. Now, you have people screaming that Bitcoin addresses are higher than ever. Bitcoin addresses have actually fallen off from 1.24 million active addresses down to 765,000 active addresses. That's a big drop for active addresses. So if we go and look at the miner revenue, it hasn't been this low since before the run started. Hash rate is attempting to come back, but it hasn't been this low since well, it's creeped up a lot, but since basically last summer, and prior to that, around 2019. Now what we can do is we can actually look at flows, and let's see what populates in terms of what's flowing into exchanges. So we'll let the time span um, play itself out here, and we'll see where we land. This lets us know um, what crypto is, what Bitcoin is being moved to wallets, what Bitcoin is being moved into exchanges. And when you see Bitcoin being moved into an exchange, that means that there is a plan to sell it. So this is very, very interesting because what you see here, this is USDT. And so what's happening is um, as Binance seems to be the main exchange that all of the Bitcoin is flowing into. Over here, it lets us know that the intent is to sell because this is stablecoin going into wallets. And the dark red is top holders. The light red right here is smaller wallets, such as just your average retail investor that may only have, one Bitcoin, 0.05 of a Bitcoin, et cetera, et cetera. So this is just some interesting information for you guys to be able to take a look at. Now, let's take a dive on into these charts. What I'm looking at right now is the 4-hour time frame, and this is very interesting. Um, Now, again, this action right here, nobody could have called that. Okay, if you just happen to have a long open when it happened, um, great to you. But there was no action in the charts that called for a pump like that. I mean, if you go all the way down to the 5 minute, you can even tell that it was just major well action that came out of nowhere. And if you look at where we were at on RSI at that time, we were at 79.9 when that went down. Okay, so it is very rare that you see price pump like this, and that's RSI on the 4 hourly. Okay, if we go down to the hourly and look at RSI during that time, it was sitting at RSI was sitting at um, let's see here, 92. Okay, all right, and continued to pump. That's how ridiculous that was. Hey Kyle, what's going on? Now here, at least on the hourly time frame, the reason why you're seeing price go up right now because the momentum wave just threw a green dot. And typically, um, when the large majority of the minimum wave is to the top side like this and throws a green dot, it's not gonna move up much, okay? But when it's at the bottom and it throws a green dot, it means at least over that hour, price is expected to rise. This right here, okay, is exactly why price dumped like this. Reason being is because you can see here, and I'll draw it for you. Price was making higher highs, but RSI was making lower lows, okay? And that's what this red line is there for, to show you that there is bearish divergence on the hourly time frame, hence why price went down. And that was major bearish divergence, okay? So big pump, big dump. All right. Um, it didn't dump as much as it pumped, but that's because retail action following the whale action. That's normally what happens. If a whale dumps, retail dumps with the whale. Cause and effect. If a whale pumps, retail pumps with the whale. Cause and effect. Okay, we talk about cause and effect a lot on this channel. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so actually, if you would have been using the Tux scalper, right? Because I do scalp trades from time to time. What's interesting is on the hourly, right before all of this happened, the Tux, it threw a late sell signal. okay? But it actually threw a buy signal. It threw the buy signal at 34,200. And unfortunately, I was not at my computer when all of this was going down. I came to my computer when the action had already just ripped up out of nowhere. So, Big Daddy, what's going on? It threw a buy signal here. Okay, it threw a buy signal here. So this long you could have caught. Now, what I keep reminding people of, and I know other influencers talk about it as well, such as Ryan Matta. Okay, I want you to look at something here. Okay, look at this V shape, and it begs to differ how much the Bitcoin market is now being manipulated in terms of us being used as puppets. Okay, does this action not look very similar? Okay, same time frame, guys. Same time frame. Same exact time frame. Make the same exact shape. Think about that for a second. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. Okay. Look at that. Same exact shape, same exact time frame. Still think I'm crazy? Now, normally when you see price come down and ride sideways like this, the direction is normally going to be up. Okay, it's letting us know that we've bottomed out and we're going up. When you see price come up and start to go sideways, okay, it lets us know that the desired direction is probably going to be down. Now, if we go and we look at our macro time frame, which is our 4 hour, right? We look at this on the 4 hour, and the reason why I have this path that I drew, because if you actually take um, the fib, right? You take the fib from the lowest to the highest point so far. Okay, I have us coming down here to 32,800 ish, 600 ish, is because there was a CME gap, a big one created right in here because of all of this action. Okay. Um, because right in here was when the market started to close, okay, and then it just took off. So there is a CME gap right in here. Will it get filled? We just have to wait and see, guys. But and I don't know if we will come all the way down to retrace to there. But it's not out of we're not out of the woods just yet for this pump north, because as you can see here, we actually pumped higher here, right? We actually reached $41,338 here, and we still came all the way back down. Okay, so um, does it mean we're gonna come back this far? No. I mean, we could literally just retrace only, back down to 36 and then take back off. We don't know. There's not enough data on this yet, but I expect we come back up, attempt to retest, 40,950, and then come back down to um, to the 0.382, which is 36,500, and then again attempt to go further. That is if this is the desired direction and we are still bullish. Now again, in the famous words of Crypto Kirby, it could be a nothing burger, but we don't have enough data building yet. What I can tell you is that on the 4 hour time frame, and you can see it right here, okay, type in the chat if you know what that means. Okay, I showed you this why this dump happened on the hourly time frame, but that's already played out. Can you tell me what this means right here? Anyone take a stab at it? And we'll turn some music on while um, Yes, Joey. Yes. Okay. Reason being, price is still making higher highs, but RSI is making lower highs. Okay. RSI currently sitting at 69.8. You can see it right in here. Okay. We are green down here on the money flow indicator. Okay. You can see right here when this took off on the 4-hourly, we flip from red to green. And then as soon as we flip from red to green, which is right here, boom. Okay. So we just have to wait and see. And this is a big wave. Okay. Big red wave goes into the green, big pump. We have a big green wave, and it may be at the apex. We don't know yet. If you look at the tux indicator, the red line is now going sideways. We could continue to step up again. It's not enough data yet, so you just got to keep that in mind for now. Okay, just keep that in mind for now, and we can turn this one off. Okay. But I would just, again, we obviously haven't even been able to reach the level that we got to, with the exception of that really, really sketchy $48,000 pump on Binance, which it wouldn't shock me if that gets investigated. But as you can see here, we still haven't reached the high we reached on 15 June. We've tried to take some stab at it, right? We tried to stab at it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Okay, 6 chances at it have all been denied. So, or 7 actually. So 7 chances over 7 days and haven't been able to reach that. Or 7 chances over 4 days. Pardon me. So, do I think that this first wave is done, right? This first leg is done? Possibly. It doesn't mean that it is. Okay, I'm not a fortune teller just because I call myself Mystic Rick. All right. So it's just something I want to keep on you guys' radar, that, okay, we have peaked at that line. We've come down just a little bit. However, what concerns me is we came up and now we're just chopping sideways. Okay, and this is a long chop sideways. Yes, if you go down to the 5-minute, it's doing this. Okay, but on the bigger time frame, it is chopping sideways. Okay, so it's kind of doing like the reverse of what we did down here. Okay, or like once we got up here, we shot up and then start traveling sideways in a big dump. Okay, again, right here, RSI was extremely overbought. Okay, we were sitting at 76.8 up in here. All right, so, and then we built bearish divergence. Okay, price was setting higher highs, RSI was doing some weird stuff. Now, I'll be interested to see how this does play out. Okay, remember, we're still hanging out pretty high on the 4-hour time frame in terms of bearish divergence. Now, have I entered a short yet? No, because I just want to wait for more confirmation, right? Price hasn't even reached this trend line yet, right? It hasn't broken the 4-hour trend line that says, hey, stupid, go short. Okay, and right now, so if you guys don't know yet, please make sure to go get signed up on Ryan Maddow's crypto coaching podcast. He offers the cheapest course on the internet, and you'll learn more in 30 days than anyone else can teach you in a couple years. So make sure to head over to his channel if you haven't already. Like and subscribe. Check out his latest videos. Get signed up for his crypto coaching course. What would be the confirmation for you to go short? On the 4-hour time frame, right? So this wouldn't be a hourly time frame trend line as of right now, and I can turn some of this stuff off so you can see it better. Okay, and we can delete this wave here. Okay, so you can see it more better here. So on a macro time frame, we have bounced off of this line, showing that the desired path was upward. We have now just gotten stuck in open space. But these bounces off of this upward trend line show me that this is at least the desired location before going higher. Now we could still go higher, right? We could come up here and then come down. But for right now, again, right, when it bounced here, you wouldn't have want to go short here because it didn't confirm on the other side of the trend line. You wouldn't have wanted to go short here because it didn't confirm on the other side of the trend line. That is if it's a day trade, okay? If it's an hourly trade, obviously, or even a 30-minute, if you zoom in for a scalp trade, you have lots of things you can do on a scalp time frame, okay? And I'll show you how. If you were to have taken, and you could have even moved this to here, okay, because it just went straight up, so you'd have had to have moved it. Okay, you change that to your red. So right there, let me zoom in so you guys can see that better. So right after this candle broke and came up but closed below, this candle was your opportunity to get in and ride the rest of the juicy short. This is why I teach trend trading. And have I stepped outside of that sometimes? Yes, I have. But ask any, I mean, it doesn't matter what influencer, every influencer has broken their rule once or twice just because of intuition. And normally it bites us in the butt, right? Now we can draw our next trend line, which would have been from, you could have taken it from here to here. That would have been your green. Okay, when price crossed right here and confirmed on that second candle, okay, that was screaming, get out of your short, okay, and to potentially go long if you wanted to go long, or just sit on the sidelines. So Joey, does that make sense of how you trend trade on the shorter time frame? And you just have to be careful because like if you drew another one, right? Okay, you decided to go long, so you're drawing your trend. Okay, once it crossed it, you only had a very short window of time to get out of that trade, okay, before it went back up and just, you know, or you could have just stayed in it, right? It didn't come down enough. You say, hey, I'm gonna hang tough, and rode it on up even higher, okay? Or you could have gotten out here, okay, ignored the short but got back in a long here and rode up and caught some juicy profits. Yes. So come here, right? So it looks flat right now, but that's because I'm zoomed in, right? It looks like you have to come straight down to touch it, but that's just because I'm zoomed in. If I zoom out, you can see that it's not like that, okay? Now, could another one potentially be be drawn to something of this effect? Yes. But I'd be mindful. I don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. There's not enough data for this to be the macro trend. Okay? Now, if you wanted to move it up to this step, okay, maybe pull it in a little more to get maybe an earlier entry, that's cool. And yes, let's say if it were to just start coming down right here and just dive bomb to maybe like right in here, okay? Yes, your entry would have been great up here, okay? However, this is the thing. Getting in up here, right, it could do something like this. But look at this. Doesn't this trend line look very similar to this trend line? They almost mirror each other. Take a look at that. Their angles almost mirror each other. Hey, Oscar, what's going on? I just wanted to zoom out, right? When in doubt, zoom out. So it doesn't look like I'm making up some funky fish stuff for you. But look, yes, you could have gotten in up here. It's just riskier, right? It's riskier. Now, if you would have gotten in here, you still could have rode the wave all the way down if you wanted to stay in that trade that long, okay? If you freaked out when it got the tiny bounce, well, then it's, up here is where this would have been a concern, right? If you got in here, then it came up to test real quick, but then dropped. Hey, Pedro, what's going on? What's going on? So I just wanted to zoom out so you guys can see that these two trend lines are following the same angles, right? So don't look at it as if like, oh, wow, that's a huge gap. It's never going to reach there. Okay. So, price did the same thing here. Look at this action. I want you to look at it. Doesn't this right here look very similar to this right here? You could just put yes or no, right? Doesn't this right here look very similar to this right here? So if the desired trend is to come back down, if the desired trend from up here is to come down and retest this line for support, okay, because we still don't have any macro support off this line, okay, it tested and upon retest broke down. It tested and then just went up. So we don't have true tests along this line before going up. Okay. Again, it doesn't mean that we can't just keep going up from here. But right now, data doesn't support more of a macro time move upwards without some type of retrace to the downside first. Okay. I just want to throw that on your radar that it's nothing over here looks any different, okay? This action here looks very similar to this action here, okay? And this action here looks very similar to this action here. And where are we? Da-da-da! Now, of course, I want us to go up too, right? If Bitcoin could just run up to 80,000 right now, I mean, it'd be the long of a lifetime. But it's unhealthy for that to happen. Not to mention it'd take a lot of money for that to happen. So it's unhealthy for that to happen because with RSI as high as it already is, okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened if price went that high, right? We have to go out to the hourly for this. Okay. If price just shot up right now to 80,000, boom, right? We'll come up to 80,000. It would immediately come straight back down. Joseph, what's going on? Right? It would immediately, if price ran up like this, it would immediately come right back down. There's no RSI to support it. Okay? You're not going to run to 80K with RSI already sitting at like 70 something. Okay? It's not going to happen. RSI would need a correction of some sort for it to reset itself. Okay, the market can't just make parabolic runs like that. Mind you, all the money isn't dumped into Bitcoin anymore like the last bull runs. It's dumped into the altcoins. Also, it didn't take as much money to pump Bitcoin to 20,000 versus the amount of money it would take to pump Bitcoin to 100,000. You're talking brackets and brackets and brackets of different types of money. Understand that. So if we go back to our 4 hour, now again, the Tux hasn't thrown anything on the 4 hour yet. Let's see if it's thrown anything on the 3 hour. So it hasn't thrown anything on the 3 hour. It flashed a buy here on the 2 hour. Look how accurate this is, guys. I want to take a look at this. Look how accurate this is. Now, again, it doesn't mean that they're always going to be right, okay? So if you look here, it threw a late sell signal, okay? But on the, I'm pretty sure on the 30 minute, right? It threw it up here on the very first candle. Boom. Okay. It threw it right away. Whereas on the 30 minute for this wave, it threw the buy signal late. It threw it midway. Now, could you still made some juicy profits? Yes, but it threw the buy signal late. I just want to put that on your radar. See? But on the 2 hour, it threw the buy signal on the first candle. Okay? It threw the sell signal late, though. But nothing yet so far, right? It hasn't flashed a sell so far. It's been neutral. If we go down here, okay, the 2 hour, look at this. On the 2 hour, there were no signals all the way up. Oops, stay back. There were no buy or sell signals all the way up. Okay? But it did throw one right here. So if you would have went long right here, and held it, you could have caught, you know, a $10,000 pump. And that massive dump right here, it did flash a sell signal right as it was happening. I mean, the very first wick it was happening. And that dump lasted from 19th of July to the morning of the 20th. Well, yeah, its lowest point was, yes, the morning of the 20th, and then it kind of just chopped in here, and then on late early nighttime is when it took off. So it threw one here, so you could have got in a little earlier. If we go back up here, let's take this off of here first. If you go to this massive dump right here, okay, it threw a sell signal right here. Now, yes, it threw another buy one, but that didn't necessarily mean to get out. You know, it's your decision whether you want to hold or not. Because all you'd have had to do is, okay, it's flashing a buy signal here. Let me go up to the 3 hour. Oops. Okay, I'm going to 3 hour. I'll go up to the 4 hour. And the 4 hour did not, oops, pardon me. The 4 hour flashed 1-2. But again, it flashed a buy signal here. If you got in up here, then this buy signal, this sell signal wouldn't have been any of your concern. So always remember, these signals are dependent upon what's happening locally, not macro. Okay? It's called TUX, EMA Scalper. TUX, TUX. I mean, look, the 4 hour hasn't flashed anything this whole time, right? Literally, there's not one signal flashing in all of this on the 4 hour. However, it flashed one right there before this madness ensued. Right? And that's nothing I'm making up for you guys, okay? If I zoom in, you can see it, okay? Boom, right there. And before this dump started, boom. Now it threw one back-to-back, a buy and then a sell. However, I mean, at least it lets you know, like, hey, get out. It's about to dump. Okay? Get out of that long right now. We're dumping. So it's just going to depend on how ballsy you are, right? You know, if it does flash another buy here or a sell, whatever it flashes, if you want to be bold enough, I mean, let's say we start the dump, right? Let's say we start the dump and it flashes the sell signal up here. That is a decision you need to make, okay? If I get in here, are we going to bounce first and put me in the red? And then I got to sit and hold until we come back down, right? Or if I get in here and it does just keep plummeting, right? And doesn't start to bounce to maybe sometime in here. Ooh, oh man. Sorry, I tried to type too fast. So just a little something to try to help you guys, right? It's not the end all be all, but it is something you can use, okay? I just want to help you guys as much as I possibly can. And also, you know, for those who are interested in, like I said, getting signed up on Prime XBT, which has great liquidity, I put the link in the description below. If you make sure you're using a VPN before you create your account, okay? Just like Bybit, you want to be on a VPN, and use the code CryptoPix. And then after you put that code in, that invitation code, and make your deposit, you will get 50% deposit bonus for margin trading. So if you put 1,000 in, you'll get an extra $500 for your margin trading. Now, let's say you make $10,000 out of your $1,000. That 500 must remain in the account. Okay, it is only there for your trading. You're not allowed to take it out. So it's like, here we're gifting it to you to trade, but you must keep a minimum of that 500 in the account. Now, what happens if you take it? It removes your code. With the co-vesting, well, how co-vesting works is you're basically signing up to follow that person, and if you follow their trades and their trades are successful, you basically owe like a percentage of your trade to that person, to my understanding. To my understanding. Joey, right now I am a partnered with Prime XBT. And if you guys watched my videos, now this is the cool thing about their exchange, right? I can trade ETH and Bitcoin on the same screen at the same time. Right? I can trade ETH and Bitcoin at the same time. So I could go boom, put a buy in, right? And put an order in right there, and come right over to Bitcoin and put an order in right there. It gives you option for market or limit, right? Limit. Then you put it in. Okay. Then it'll pop up in positions. If it hasn't been hit yet, it'll pop up in orders. If I want to come over and watch the charts, I'm watching the S&P, EOS, Ethereum, and Bitcoin all in the same screen. Down here, I'm looking at volume, but up here, I'm looking at RSI. And I can draw on them and everything, right? See, I can set a trend line, price line, put text in there, draw all sorts of stuff. Okay. I can change bars, candles, and lines. Yes, Joseph's right. Chaco, we will have some type of correction. Um, our RSI is calling for it. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be a dump to 30K, right? I'm not saying we're coming to 30K, but RSI is calling for it. And also, guess what? You click analysis, and guess what it does? Takes you into trading view. Look at that awesomeness. This is an old line, by the way. Well, it's the one that I need to pull out. Yes. So I just wanted to, show that to you guys.
Heard you're buying a car. I brought my calculator.
Dad, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. I found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly, instead of all that.
You know those things impact your credit score.
Didn't impact my credit score, Dad. Now I'm going to the dealership for a test drive and to make the purchase.
Sounds too easy.
No, it's just easy. Capital One. What's in
Yeah,
your
I
wallet?
mean, Luna's doing good, but Bitcoin doesn't follow Luna though. I'd be very careful with that. And you also have to remember, just where is this? So just like I showed on the hourly Chaco, okay? This dump right here, okay, and this pump right here literally mimic the S&P to a T. Look at this. All of this happened at the exact same time. Looks like a freaking thong. But no, it literally mimicked the same exact action. So if the S&P were to take another correction like that, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin could be up at 60K. If the S&P dumps like that, Bitcoin's going to dump with it. On the Fed pumping money. No, it can't keep going forever. What they'll do right now, they're trying to look like the heroes, right? They're trying to make it look like you need them. Okay, this is what certain parties get caught up in doing. This is obviously no offense to anybody from Germany because my girlfriend's from Germany. She's actually over there right now. But it is a page right out of Hitler's book. Everything, okay? You make money, I'll determine how much to give you. You don't need weapons, I'll protect you. Okay? We will give you everything. And meanwhile take away your freedoms. So while they're continuously printing the money, what's happening is the more money we put in circulation, it causes inflation. So you now, let's say you're a corporation owner, you're charging more for your product, and now places like the grocery store and the Walmart are charging more because they have to pay more to get your product. Restaurants have to pay more to get that product. Okay? And so the retail investor or the consumer now has to pay more for those products or food or services, but their job is not paying them more. And so what'll happen is they keep kicking the interest can down the road because they've kicked it so far that right now the only thing they can do is keep kicking it. So what'll happen is eventually they'll have to come out the closet and say, guys, guess what? We can't run a 0% interest rate no more. We have to raise interest rates. We have to raise taxes. So that's how they'll get it back. They'll get it back through the people, right? Why do you think Wells Fargo just retracted all open personal loans? Okay. Actually, any lines of credit, Wells Fargo just retracted. Yeah, but Joseph, that's from what's called the bubble pop. Okay? Once the bubble pops, yes, everything deflates, right? Your $300,000 house can turn into 150,000. It's like 2008. But this is the problem. We didn't have $30 trillion worth of debt in 2008 either. Something to consider, right? We didn't have $30 trillion worth of debt in 2008. Yeah. And remember what happened back then. Chase Bank was bailed out, right? Ford was bailed out. But Pontiac wasn't. Remember that? Pontiac had to shut down. Okay? That's why there's no more Pontiacs being made. They had to shut down. People who had, $250,000 house, their house dropped to 150. People, then they had to raise interest rates, right? And because the Fed had to raise interest rates, the bank had to raise interest rates, but the people who couldn't afford those interest rates on their homes and stuff anymore, it caused a trickle-down effect on the consumer. That's why you had all those houses up for foreclosure after 2008, right? There were literally mansions, $1 million mansion going for, 400,000 or 500,000. And this is the thing, Joseph. Like, different countries have different remedies for it, right? Um, the problem we're gonna run into is the government bails out everybody but the people, right? Well, and this is the thing. We have a lot more debt than Japan. If you go look at the global debt scale, we have a lot more than Japan, okay? Uh, so, goodness gracious, which this isn't even accurate because we're not 15 trillion in debt. We're about 30 trillion in debt. Um, where's I can't even. Why is it not pulling it up? Here we go. Japan has 12 trillion. Yeah. So we just have to see what happens. I mean, you guys are seeing it unfold before your own eyes, right? Have you looked at the housing market lately? Have you looked at gas prices? Have you looked at consumer prices? Even the little things like beef jerky, right? You need an extra job just to buy some beef jerky right now. See, I'm not liking this action. Like, if you notice, even in here, right, we still kind of like staggered, right? In here, we still kind of staggered. And even on the downside, we staggered. On the upside, we staggered here. And now we're just going sideways, right? We're literally just caught in a wedge, and it's getting tighter and tighter. ELD vet, what's going on? Yeah, Joey, sideways in the drop would be the best. So we just have to watch the charts, see what happens, right? But again, as of right now, we haven't been able to get as high as we were on June 15th. Okay, we're sitting at that same level we did right in here. Okay, we're sitting at that same level right now. We made the same action in here as we did right here. We made the same action here as we did right here. So I would just say be cautious, okay? But you know, your altcoins is something different. But on this channel, I'm not gonna, outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? I really don't talk about trading altcoins like that because they're dangerous. Okay, they can make you a lot of money, but they can also jack you up real quick. Okay, but right now, you're not gonna long into possible resistance. Ah, my arrows are so ugly. Where's the arrow thing here? You don't want to long into possible resistance, just like you wouldn't want to short into possible support. Okay, so this little blip right here, that was not a chance to go short right near possible support. Okay, not on the if it was closer, right? If it was closer. So let's put this like right here. Okay, this was not the time to go short. Okay, the time to go short was either up here, okay, or if you had a strong enough signal, right here. Okay, we kind of just ate through this level. We didn't even really stop at it. We just ate through it. Okay, but we did get an initial bounce, right? It bounced, came right back down, or right back up. But again, this wasn't a pure Bitcoin move. Okay, the reason why I ate right through support is because Bitcoin was following what the S&P was doing. It dumped when the S&P dumped. It pumped when the S&P pumped. EOD vet, no. So as of right now, okay, this is our macro downtrend. This is more of just a, we haven't crossed into territory of finding support to retest all-time highs, okay? But as of right now, this is just a reaction rally, okay? Remember what a reaction rally is. It's a failed attempt at retesting all-time high, okay? So this, it's a failed attempt at retesting all-time high. This, okay, until further notice, is a failed attempt at retesting all-time high. Just throwing it out there. So this was your primary markdown. Because we haven't even went higher here than we did here, okay? It's, as of right now, it's nothing more than a reaction rally. And here's your secondary markdown zone. Okay. Yes, some call it a dead cat bounce. Yes. So, I mean, look at how high we got here. Same level, came right back down to follow this desired downtrend. It doesn't mean that that's going to happen here, right? We could come on up and test 47,000. We could. But as of right now, the technicals are calling for some sort of correction, even if it's only like this, okay? Before another move to retest these lines of resistance, okay? So maybe what I should do here to make this more clear is actually draw you guys out a okay, this is a heavy resistance zone right here. God, this music is just killing me over here today. That's right. W can easily become an M. And but this is a heavy area of resistance. Okay, it's just something to keep in mind. So yes, this is your secondary markdown zone. Now, does that mean it's gonna just, you know, plummet straight through it? No, it's not realistic. I mean, we could you know, we could see something, you know, like this here, right? Right. We could see something like this. Okay. But right now, no, it's not the time to go long. You have no confirmation to go long. Okay? Your confirmation to go long was, you know, we'll spread this out. Your confirmation to go long was if you got in down here and you're still in your position, you got in here, here, or here. You don't go long up here because you're longing into possible resistance. It's just like if we did make it all the way down back to this, you know, this macro downtrend, okay, and then maybe did something like this, you don't want to short if it's finding support there. Yeah, but this is the thing. For the numbers that they're calling for, Checo, like on the higher level, you have to think that so many things have to go right for that to happen, right? Listen to Joseph. Listen to EOD Vet, right? Um, listen to these guys because this is what's going to happen. If we do have an economic bubble pop, which all the indicators are screaming that it's going to pop soon, right? It could be 2 months, it could be 6 months, but I tell you this, when it does pop, all these overly inflated assets are going to take a skydive without a parachute.
Don't need to create this algorithm to find the best value on energy for every season? You really don't. With season pass, you get half off for half the year.
You entered a short at 36.9.
Great. Simple math. That frees up a lot of time.
Why did you enter a short at 36.9?
For hobbies. TXU Energy. Easy to choose.
How you doing, Johnny?
Tap the banner now to learn more.
Yeah, they're screaming that because this is why they're screaming that, because they just put their money in here. This was retail. Okay? That's what they do. Cause, effect. And then when they dump, okay, the first dump will be the cause. The secondary dump is the effect of retail. They're always the primary. When this action started, okay, this was not retail people dumping Bitcoin or pumping Bitcoin up. The first move is always made by the whales. You know how I know? Because you can go down to the 5-minute and see this. See that? You can see it on the 5-minute. Look at that. You can see it on the 5-minute. So in less than 5 minutes, Bitcoin, I can tell you exactly how much money was put into. That was Bitcoin had 900 million put into it in 5 minutes. 900 million put in 5 minutes. That's not count. That's just this one long candle here. That's not accounting for it. Got put in here, okay? It's not retail money. This was the whales. This was the retail. Okay? I'll say that again. This was the whales. This was the retail. This was the whale dumping again. This was the retail. All this little minute action right here is retail. Hey, Joey, thanks for coming. Appreciate you coming. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Anybody that just came in or anybody new, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get Mr. Griggs crypto picks jumping. And make sure you catch my latest videos. And man, I was telling you guys the other day when I talked about Splinterlands, it's down right now, but when I was talking about it, Splinterlands was like 25 cents, right, when I first mentioned it. It got as high as $1.13, just that quick. So from the night of the 27th till the night of the 28th, okay, it went from around 25 cents all the way up to $1.13. So it's cooling off right now. It needed a correction after a crazy pump like that. It just needed a correction. So that's why it's down. And then and let's not forget this great project. I'm telling you guys, this game. So there's already one token you can get for it. It's called the Polis token. So this is going to have two different tokens. The Polis token is one that was already out. It's just one that will be utilized in some sort of manner in game. I don't know much of how. Okay. But the main token will be the Star Atlas token, which at this time is not available. It's not on pre-sale. It's not available at all. But if you guys want to see what some of these meta posters are going for right now, well, that one's just sold out. Is this one for sale? Sold out. There's only 4 in the world. Sold out. There's only 5 in the world. Sold out. There's only 5 in the world. $20,000. There's 72 in the world. Look at that cool NFT right there. Which a meta poster is an NFT. So this game is gonna be hot, guys. And you guys always know I keep it 100 with you. I keep it real with you. I do own 2 of the posters. I own the Heart of Star Atlas and I own the Armstrong Forever. And this one right here, you had to own all 13. If you owned all 13, then this was a bonus given to you. And the thing is, each meta poster comes with stuff in the game, right? So what it allows you to do is, for instance, let's say you buy this one and you get a ship for it. Well, you don't have to use the ship that you get with the meta poster. You can turn around and sell the ship on the marketplace. Oh, it's awesome. You guys wanna hear what some of these NFTs do? Okay, you can view the experience. So I'll let you view the experience.
When we leave Earth, what will remain? What will be important? What do we bring? How do we live? All that will
Now, it also does some augmented reality stuff. If you here, if you guys want to see the augmented reality stuff, I'll flash it really quick. Okay. So go ahead and scan that real quick. I'll leave that up for about 30 seconds. So you scan that, and it'll let you view it on Facebook or Instagram. Okay. About 15 more seconds. Three, two, and one. All right.
remain.
So these are so awesome. And I can't wait to be able to, obviously be able to get even the level one, okay, like the first one or the third one, it's already $751, and that's just for a level one. That's for a level one. There's 3,000 in the world that exist of the Convergence War one. Um, I'm telling you, this is going to be like the Star Trek meets Star Wars meets SpaceX of blockchain gaming. Okay, this is another expensive one. It's $2,400 if you want this one. There's only 707 that exist in the world. I like the red ordeal they did with it. It's kind of like two aliens doing their love thing. Um, well, that was awesome. I didn't realize it could do that. Boom. So obviously they can do some things that other NFTs can't. It's just, I mean, it's just badass. So just something to check out, right? Something to check out, and it tells you here um, what the Armstrong for Everyone does. They're sold out, by the way. Um, but it tells you like, hey, you get the Opal Jet, you get the exclusive white hot skin for the Opal Jet. Um, you get Legends rewards, a Neil Armstrong uniform patch, a vintage astronaut suit, vintage orbiting satellite. Then you get mining claims. So you get claim stake tier one mining station, a mining drill, and these allow you to like mine certain metals and things like that you can build a ship with, and you or weapons, and then you can sell those things on the um, auction house. And then also you get a faction passport. You need one to join a faction, and then some sort of unique badge. So pretty awesome stuff, right? And each one comes with unique stuff. And of course, Battle Wave 2323 is up. It's up and running. They've already had 800 grand in NFT sales. So this is for Anarchy. Now we are building a symmetrical triangle What did I tell you guys? We're setting lower highs but higher lows. Okay? Lower highs but higher lows is a symmetrical triangle, and the desired direction of a symmetrical triangle is typically down first before up. Okay, it's typically down first before up. Lower highs, higher lows. It typically breaks to the downside first before breaking to the upside. We just have to see. Doesn't mean I'm right. Hey, when I showed you guys the rare phenomenon and I told you guys, I called it, right? What did I tell you guys? Back here. When I'm on the 5 minute. Let's go out to the 4 hour. Okay. Here we go. When I called out this phenomenon to you guys, right? The two symmetrical triangles separated by the outlier. What did I tell you would happen? I said a breakdown would come first. So if you take the lines, right, you got the top one there. All you had to do was come down here and make this one. Bring another line and make this one. And what happened? Breakdown first before going up. Does that mean that's going to happen again? Absolutely not. Again, I'm not a fortune teller. This is not investment advice. Okay? I just hope that I've been helping you guys on this channel. It's all I care about. It's being able to help you guys. I mean, you can see it on the 4 hour too. It's just obviously the 4 hours just a lot smaller or less candles, but you can still see it right there, right? Lower highs, higher lows, break down before break up. But, and I want to say this dump kind of negated it, right? But for the bullish scenario, we do kind of have a bull pennant here, okay? But that's stretching it, right? Even if you want to draw it from here, because this might have negated it. And the reason why I say that is because this is an outlier, right? It came below the pattern. And then once we went back inside of it, we've been riding on the top of it. So I'm not saying take it off the table, right? Because a bull pennant would mean that the
No. So don't book a cheap hotel when you can book an expensive hotel for cheap on Hotwire. With hot rate deals, you can stay in a nicer hotel than you ever thought possible. Just select your city, neighborhood, and amenities.
the desired target would be 50,000. But that's really stretching it to call that a bull pennant. Right, it's really stretching it. So let me turn on my indicator, make sure I'm not missing anything. No, no. If Bitcoin comes down to this red line, then the bull flag would be negated. Bull flags don't break down before breaking up. So as of right now, even on the 2 hour, the only signals you have are right here before the pump started. A late sell here, but you still could have scalped off of it, and then this buy here. It hasn't posted another buy or another sell because we're neutral right now, right? We're just neutral, right? It's the same with the the 1 hour shows a lot more. But I mean, price is just really starting to scrunch and work these really tiny. I mean, look at how tiny these candles are, guys. They're like mini, just back to back tiny candle, tiny candle, tiny candle, tiny candle. Like, yeah, it could be a bull trap. It could. Just have to wait, see what happens. Right? Just have to wait, see what happens. That $1 billion short squeeze could easily turn into a $1 billion long squeeze. Right? I mean, yeah, you could always have another whale step in and pull this action here just to try to push it up through that resistance, right? You could. But again, think of all the people with their money trapped up in this range up here that as soon as they get back into break even or profit, they're going to get out because they're scared. Retail trades on fear. Okay? Any of those people that have been sitting now for months waiting to just get back up in profit range, whether they're just 1,000, 2,000 back in profit after they bought the Bitcoin, they will get out. Okay? Not saying everybody will do that. But it's just something I'm saying pay attention to. Okay? So on the 3 hour, it hasn't thrown anything up here at all. Okay? But the 3 hour did throw a buy here. It did throw a sell here. For whatever reason, it threw a buy. So you guys just have to watch it, okay? And remember what I told you. If you have step outs, right, and a price goes up and steps out, you might have to modify your trend lines, okay? So, for instance, price could very well step out like this, okay, and then bust through the trend line, okay? But let's say bust through the trend line but keeps doing this. Then do you think I'm going to go short just because it broke the trend line there? No, okay? That means I need to start walking out the trend line. But as of right now, I don't see the action of price doing that before it decides to pick a direction, okay? And don't think it's going to be just some straight down action, okay? If it did come up, it's going to be staggered, right? It's going to be staggered. If it comes down, it's going to be staggered, okay? But we do, in order to go up higher, okay? For those of you who are ready to see us finally get through 42,000, we have to have a correction first. RSI is all of this action, extremely overextended RSI, okay? We have to cool off first. I can see it up here, okay? We are seriously extended. And it's attempting to push higher. It really is. Don't think they aren't trying, right? They're trying, but it's okay. Right now, RSI is at 68.6. And so far, we're still stuck with a macro higher high, but RSI lower high, okay? A confirmation to short when breaking a trend. I mean, it's gonna give it to you, right? So, for instance, when I let's go down to the hourly for this. When I was showing you guys this, right? Remember we had our trend line here, okay? And because it stepped out, okay, we decided to move the trend line like this, okay? So when it crossed over and it gave you, and instead of that first candle, right, we'll zoom in here. Instead of that first candle, you know, it gave you an out. It gave you a pass, okay? It gave you one candle, two candles that was a pass before they start having these massive candles that would have just ate up all your profits, okay? It gave you two outs before it took off like a rocket. So does that make sense? Okay? If you got in up here, you rode it down, okay? Right here was your opportunity to get out. The buy signal right there, it's even telling you, get out of your short. Even if the very next candle would have still went down, what did you lose? Okay? You made all that profit. If it crosses your trend, get out. Okay? Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. The trend is your friend to the end. So roll with it. Okay? Hubris, what's going on? Sorry I didn't get shut out. I didn't see you in. Everybody make sure to hit that like button, please. And please bring bring some other people to my channel. I hope I provide some good content for you guys. If not, at least maybe it's entertainment. So if you're going to use the Tux EMA scalper, I would definitely tell you don't use it on the hourly and below unless you're scalping. Okay, again, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes and educational purposes. Do not use it for the hourly and below unless you are scalping. Okay, because it's obviously going to give you buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Okay, I am currently watching it on the 3 hour, 4 hour. I'm even watching it on the 2 hour. Okay, even watching it on a 2 hour. The 2 hour flashes a sell signal. I'm probably going hard in the paint. It'll be interesting to see if the next sell flash on the 2 hour is going to be the sell flash that breaks the trend line. And our momentum has not only money flow, okay, but our money flow and our momentum have been stuck up here in these top ranges. Eventually it's going to cross below. Okay. When it crosses below, we could see a similar dump like this. Not saying it's coming down to 29, but I'm saying you could see a similar, you know. So this is just a time to stay vigilant, guys. Don't do anything stupid, okay? It's too late to open a long here, a long-term long. If you're scalping, hey, do what you do. If you're looking for that big long, this is not the time to try to catch it, okay? I'm warning you, okay? It's not the time to try to catch it. Could it pump? Yes, it could. Okay, I'm not saying we can't go to 42K or 47K. What I'm saying is, please, just, you've missed that boat to try to open a long-term long position right now. It's too risky, okay? Your risk is greater than your reward right now. And yeah, I know some people are like, oh, well, you didn't tell me to get to my trade and I missed these profits. It's not my job to tell you to get in your trade. My job is just to try to help you guys make money and to try to save you guys from losing money. if you use my trend line strategy, you can't lose money. All right? Your trend line is they're clear warning signs of, okay, well, if the trend line breaks this red line, I probably shouldn't be in my long position. Okay? If it breaks the green line, hey, I probably shouldn't be in my short position.
No matter what kind of movement calls your name,
Just
something
throwing it out
happens
there.
when you answer. The body leaps forward and the mind follows. For over 70 years, ASICS has brought human-centric science to everyday and elite athletes alike, with high-quality performance products that encourage you to find your version of well-being. ASICS, sound mind, sound body. Click or tap to experience the uplifting power of sport.
Whoa. It's too much for this channel. Well, Chaco, there's no CME gaps above us. Okay? CME gaps above us have already been filled. Okay? Let me turn all this stuff off. Any gaps that were on the upside over here got filled on the way down. Okay? Any gaps on the upside got filled on the way down. Only CME gaps right now are right here. Right here. And right in here. I believe it's like 18,900-ish. Johnny, a CME gap is just orders that didn't get filled because of what happened in price action. And so whales try to basically use their buddies to get price to come back to it so they can fill it. Well, Chaco, don't say that's invalidated. There's nothing invalidated. Okay? Anything can happen. Right? We could go to 60K and we could go to 20K. Nothing's invalidated. But this is the thing. Even if there is a CME gap around 46,000, okay, why is that so significant to you right now when that price hasn't been revisited and getting ready to go on 3 months? If we hit it, I mean, we're not that far from it. It's another $7,000 away. I mean, it's not like trying to push up and catch something way up here, right? But right now, there is no push for that CME gap. Because if there was, we would have already hit it. Just how right here we ripped through all those Fibonacci, those fib retracements. So it's, I wouldn't be looking for that just like at you know, at this very moment. At the very moment, I wouldn't be looking for it. So just kind of be cautious with that. Okay. You got to be vigilant, but being vigilant doesn't mean get, you know, over cocky. Okay. This market definitely wrecks the over cocky. Yeah, we can look at ETH. So again here, this was an outlier to the trend, right? But ETH did come break the trend, broke down, bounced right off of that trend line I drew there for you guys. I mean, look at it too. The candle close just, I mean, just kissed right off of it before taking off again. Okay. Yep. I mean, I can even zoom in for you. I mean, look at that. And then before pumping up, you got resistance right at the line. Okay. You got resistance right at the line here. Kissed it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So when I draw these trend lines out for you guys, trust me, they're significant trend lines. And it's okay for you guys to, you know, go through the video, screenshot, and apply, you know, trend lines to your videos. Now, because this has already played out, right? Now what I'll do is I'll move it. Okay. And see what it does from here. Or you could modify it, right? Since we stepped out, you could bring it here. Okay. If you wanted to draw one for your long, you could do that too. Okay. But I wouldn't trust that on a long right now. It's just not enough data for it. we're crunching too tight again to open a long right there. I don't like it. You're forming a symmetrical triangle here, okay, on Ethereum as well. You're setting higher lows, but you're setting lower highs. They're probably going to break down first, maybe retest the macro downtrend line before going back up to 3,000 or wherever it's going to go. Okay, so I'd look for a correction first before it tries to take off like a bat out of hell. And again, down here, okay, before it pumped up. Look at how, look at how close it got to my baseline I drew, okay? So it's okay to use the trend lines that I draw for you guys. That's why I draw them. And if you happen to got into a short up here, right, you could have drew a trend line down, modified it on the step out. Okay. And right here was your warning shot fired to get out of that short. And I mean, yeah, you could have modified it as it tightened up. Oh, excuse me. You could have modified it as it tightened up, right? But either way, once it went above it, this was your warning shot fired before you lost the rest of that profit. Well, the problem is they've jacked up retail so bad in here that most of the retail don't have that much money to keep putting in. They're starting to go to more real world stuff, right? They're starting to go to the gaming sector. They're starting to go to just buying stablecoin and locking it, or you know. People can only get burned so bad before they just say, "Hey, I'm out of money to, I have no more money to buy dips," or "I've got burned so bad on trades, I have no more money to put in." Retail doesn't have endless money like these whales do. And when I say endless money, I mean, think of people like Bezos, right? He's got enough money to give everybody in the world, I think, like $10.
No matter what kind of movement calls your name, something happens when you answer. The body leaps forward and the mind follows. For over 70 years, ASICS has brought human-centric science to everyday and elite athletes alike, with high-quality performance products that encourage you to find your version of well-being. ASICS, sound mind, sound body. Click or tap to experience the uplifting power of
Yeah. But what's interesting is right here, we're at our V top, our double top. I mean, it did come down a little bit, but What kind of song is this? That sounds horrible. I mean, look at this beautiful W right here. Okay? The macro W has already played out. Okay? But what's a W? Eventually becomes an M. Not saying we're going down to 1800, okay? The M could very well do something like here, right? Just come down to 2000 and then come up to, 2500, 2600, maybe retrace to 24 and then come up to, 3000. So it retraced exactly to a T, right where my trend line intersects with the 3.382. Okay, came back up to the 236. It's just been bouncing up and down off the 236. And we could see another retest back into the golden pocket, the 0.5, before taking off. Again, we just have to see. And also, right, the whole buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, we could literally, when EIP 1559 releases, we could literally see ETH just do something like this, right? And because it overextends it, it's going to send it flying right back down. Trust me. If Ethereum gets overextended like that because of EIP 1559, for everybody that's like, here we are, EIP 59, ETH is going to go to the moon. I am warning you, if it's a fast pump, it's going to be a fast dump. Okay? Just a little warning. Okay? If it's a fast pump, it's going to be a fast dump. And when I say what becomes a W eventually becomes an M, right? You can see another one right here. What becomes a W eventually becomes an M. All right. You have your W. You have your M. You can't see them when you're zoomed in like this, okay? You have to look at them from a macro level. You can't see them when you're. You can't see them when you're. When you're zoomed in and looking like this, right? Can't see any W's or M's like this. But when you stretch it out and extend it, okay, voila. I mean, I just have to draw that again. Look at this beautiful W play out. I mean, it was screaming to you right here. It was screaming that I'm going up before I come back down. Let's look at Solana. Woo! Solana is actually below the macro downtrend. We had the outlier, but now it's fighting. Right? It can't even come up and kiss it. Right? It's struggling. Solana has been on a wild ride. I mean, look at these pumps and dumps. Goodness gracious. Solana has had some wild rides. Wild. Did ETH ever get bearish cross on the daily? Nope. Oh, excuse me. That's 2 hour. Nope. It's actually about to have a ETH is about to have a bullish cross on the daily. And it hasn't had a bullish cross on the daily since 27 April of last year. Okay, ETH has been in the green this whole time. So ETH could take off, right? But just because it's close, you know, the money wave is close to crossing into bullish territory, doesn't mean that it won't just drop down again, okay? Because this bullish divergence has already played out, okay? You can see, yeah, right here we go, right here. This is on the daily. Look at it. What do you see looking right at you? It's staring you right in the face that it's already played out. What do you guys see? Hey Oscar, thanks for coming. What do you guys see? Boom. It's already played out. Hey Joseph, thanks for coming. All right. So even if it's mini before it takes off, okay? I just be cautious. And again, ETH, I mean, it has room to keep pumping, right? RSI is only sitting at 61. It could keep pumping. We just have to wait and see what happens with it. Okay. But again, I'd be vigilant. We also have to keep an eye on this thing. Okay. Oops. So we actually we had some bearish divergence unfolding on the S&P. Okay. So I just be very cautious right now. Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what's gonna happen? But I mean, it can't just keep climbing like this, man. This is so unhealthy. I mean, look at this. It's literally just going straight up. Guys, like this is so unhealthy. And let's say we do have a correction like this right here. Right? Let's say we do have that, you know, a 10% correction. And that was over multiple days, but I mean, a 10% correction in the S&P right now would wreck Bitcoin. Wreck Ethereum too. So I'm just saying, stay vigilant, guys. Okay? I want everybody to make money, but I want you to do it the smart way. Right? Not hauling ass into bad trades. Okay? Again, on Bitcoin. This is not the time to be opening that big long. Okay, you missed that boat, because what if you open that big long and it crashes right into the ceiling and just shoots down on you for a correction? Okay, you're gonna get burned because you got in too late. You longed into potential macro resistance. Okay, unless you got in down here where it's gonna give you time to get out of that trade, or you got in down here or down here, right? Or down here, it's no longer safe for you to get in a long position. Why would there be so much resistance at that price range? It was resistance here, okay? It was resistance here. It was support here. Well, somewhat support here. And then it was resistance over here, okay? For several hours, this range was the resistance. And look how long it took for us to... We tested it January 7th. We didn't get through it until February 8th. So it took a whole month to break through it. Okay? And then after breaking through it, it took basically to the end of the month for it to become support. Okay? So just stay vigilant, guys, because this is the thing. Everyone was screaming back here, right? Oh, well, now we're headed to 80K. What, just because you made it to 40? That doesn't mean shit. Hell, I wanted $300,000 Bitcoin, but there's nothing in the charts calling for a $300,000 Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin runs $300,000. I'm buying me a Lambo. Okay, but there's nothing in the charts calling for it. So I'm not gonna hop on here and tell you guys that Bitcoin's calling for a $300,000 price tag. Okay, we haven't even been able to get higher than we did over here. There should be no talk about seeing 50, 60, 80, 100, 150, 300 when we're basically no higher than we were a month ago. Okay, month and a half ago. So just be vigilant, please. Okay. Like, does it mean it's going to come all the way back down into this trend? No, it doesn't. Okay? It doesn't. We could work a completely new channel. Okay? We could work a completely new channel. We could, we could possibly go up. Okay? But I wouldn't be thinking about going long on a macro time frame until we've broken this. And then we back test it and it becomes support. Okay? See that W? So if it were to come through, you don't go long off the first bounce. You let the W form, get your bullish divergence because it's found support, and then you go long right here. Does that make sense? No, Hubris, no, ETH isn't holding Bitcoin back. It's it's just stuff around the world is, man. You got to think you have a lot of people in countries who are fighting lockdowns right now, and you think they're worried about buying some Bitcoin when they're worried about how they're going to feed their families because they can only go out once a week to buy food, right? Or they can't work. Like people have to understand when you speak of all this stuff that's supposed to happen in Bitcoin, right? You always have to remember the fundamentals of the world. We're at a time, unfortunately, where Bitcoin is fighting a lot of economic issues, right? Just like how they thought that everything was so great for El Salvador adopting Bitcoin. Maybe you should go look at the news lately about El Salvador's people protesting against having Bitcoin. Like, I mean, they've literally taken to the streets. They're pissed. They didn't want it. And that's not Mystic Rick FUD. Like that's straight up truth. Okay? They are taken to the streets. Here it is, 4 days ago. I mean, they are literally. You can look at the images here. Like, they're literally taken to the streets. Okay? They don't want Bitcoin. Okay? Just throwing it out there. But hey, I've already stayed on this stream long enough. I have to get some sleep because I need to wake up to potentially get this crypto. Okay. So I can be like all the Moon Boys driving their Lambos. I want a Lambo too. No, not really. I want a McLaren. But go figure. All right. But thank you for coming. If you're on the other side of the world, you're already up for work or you're already getting off from work, be safe, be happy, go love on your dog, go love your wife, go love your husband, go love your kids. Nothing is promised to you, so love one while you had a chance. I hope everybody learned something tonight. And I hope that I am blessed with the opportunity to see another day to join you guys tomorrow. Mr. Grick is out, and go get those gains.